Waiting for a response. And we are live. Okay, everybody, we did it.
Congratulations.
Welcome to United Way's first live Lunch and Learn. I'm Heidi Berardi, and I am delighted to be here with you today, and we thank you for joining us. Today, we'll talk about United Way's impact on mental health in McHenry County. Before I introduce you to our wonderful guests, here's a statistic. According to a recent poll, 1 in 3 people reported symptoms of anxiety disorder in 2020, as compared to 1 in 12 in 2019. So that's no surprise, right, guys? We all have had our good and our bad days. And if you're feeling stress and anxiety, you are not alone. Fortunately, McHenry County has a wealth of resources to support your mental health. And with us today, we have 3 fantastic organizations. So let me, without further ado, introduce you to our guests. And we actually have Melissa with Rosecrance. And if you want to wave, Jane with Turning Point. Hi.
Hello.
And Jean with Samaritan Counseling. Welcome all of you guys. We really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for doing this.
So let us go around and just simply talk about what the 3 of you guys do as an organization to support mental health services in the county. Melissa, why don't we go ahead and just have you describe a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so Rosecrance McHenry County offers substance abuse and mental health outpatient treatment for children, teens, adults, and families. We also have 2 psychiatrists on hand that can help us in that process with the children.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Jean, why don't you tell us a little more about Samaritan Counseling?
Sure. Samaritan Counseling Center is a nonprofit that spans a very big northwest suburban area from all the way down from Schaumburg to Rockford up to the border and beyond to the lake, providing counseling services and psychiatric services. We have 1 psychiatrist on staff, 16 counselors, doing everything, all ages, all stages, anything that is not inpatient. So any outpatient services from relationship issues, little kid, school defiant, stress, anxiety, that kind of thing, all the way up to some rather chronic, severe, mental health issues that require ongoing therapy. So that's
a great description. And as you're going to hear, there is such a wide selection of needs that these organizations support. So as you're taking it all in, we will try to drill it down a little bit more so you yourself can see if there might be a service that might be beneficial or for someone you know as well. All right, Jane, take it away with Turning Point.
Hi, I'm Jane Farmer, and I'm the Executive Director of Turning Point. Our mission is to confront violence against women and children in McHenry County. Our agency is the only agency and shelter that deals with domestic violence. So we have a wide range of services. We have 4 people at the courthouse. They help get people orders of protection. We have a shelter behind our building here. We have a walk-in place for anybody to come in, or they can call in now. And then we also have a partner abuse intervention program that's on the east side. We are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that's it in a nutshell.
And I think sometimes it's good, we have a lot of people who are watching that have invested in the community through our United Way for a long time. And I think when they see that we are supporting over 33 organizations in the county, they're looking at this list and they're thinking, where do I begin? Where do I start to maybe get help for myself or a loved one? So again, just even hearing the description of what you do, it's exciting for people to make that connection. So tell us a little bit about one United Way funded program at each of your organizations that is making a difference in the county. Let's go back to you, Melissa.
Yeah, so Rosecrans' overriding goal is to ensure that the entire community has access to treatment, regardless if the family is able to pay or even have the ability to pay. So we definitely appreciate like United Way for their ongoing generous support that ensures that anyone who's seeking treatment, if it's for substance, if it's mental health, definitely has the ability to come in and, we're able to pay for that for them.
That is so important. So when you're doing an intake process, you determine whether or not somebody can actually afford the services, and because of that funding and the support from the community, then somebody might be able to get that service. And I think a lot of times people think, maybe I don't qualify, maybe I make too much money, maybe I make too little money. But really, right. I think everybody is coming together, especially in these times, to sort of remove that proverbial red tape, right?
Absolutely. And if it's reducing any like financial barrier, knowing that they can still get treatment and the support and, all of that. So we definitely appreciate United Way for being able to help us that way.
Well, thank you. And again, thanks to everybody who's out there watching that does support Rosecrance. Okay, Jean.
Yeah, so our biggest program that United Way supports, and our biggest program is our counseling services. And United Way's support in McHenry County is absolutely crucial to our mission. We have about 2,000 active clients and families right now, and half of those reside in McHenry County. And of those, between 20 and 25% need financial assistance. And United Way is our #1 funder for that program. So either people who need sliding scale, they can pay a little bit, or people who can't pay hardly anything at all. United Way is the reason we are able to have them come in and see these therapists that normally would be in a private practice. 85% of the people that come to Samaritan have insurance. That's going to change as we see this pandemic impacting financial ability to pay and insurance. So United Way funding is going to become more and more and more important to people who come and see us, and people who haven't even found out that they need to come and see us yet. So we're
absolutely
very, very grateful.
Well said. So it sounds like you're even just having a dialogue with people, even current clients, about their situation.
Yes,
for sure. Okay, and then Jane, let's talk about one of the numerous things that we partner with you on as well.
Yeah, one of the programs that United Way sponsors or helps to sponsor is our Court Victims Advocacy Project. And that is people that are coming into the agency and they are coming with absolutely nothing, and they're going to the courthouse to get an order of protection, or they're walking into the agency. All of our services for them are free of charge, and that's because of the law. Illinois Domestic Violence Act says we can't charge, but really I wouldn't charge anyway, because it's predominantly women, although we serve men. And it's counseling, or else they might call for in the middle of the night because they're scared, because maybe their partner went to work and they got scared, and they're calling us to find out what do we need, what does she need to do, or what does he need to do to get out of the situation. We took, I don't know, 2,100 calls. And that's crisis calls last year alone. So it's just making sure people are getting the services they need. And sometimes the service they need will be, with us. We can counsel them, we can talk to them, anything. It's really, really helpful.
Well, and I think it's interesting you say, a lot of us are spending a lot more time together at home, more than we have ever. And I've been with my husband for, almost 30 years, and I've probably spent more time with him in the last 6 months. And so everyone is just having to learn that craft of being able to, be together and create space for ourselves and everything like that. Have you seen more calls in the last 6 months, and is it escalating more recently?
It's really escalating a lot, because if two people are in the home together and one of them is violent, well, he or she, they can't get out of the home because the abusive partner is there. So they can call maybe, if he, he goes out and works out or does anything, but more and more times, if he's, it's a stress when he's lost his job suddenly, or if he's on a furlough. So that can be very difficult, very difficult.
Absolutely. And it's a wonderful thing to know that you guys as a resource are here in the county for sure.
Well, Heidi, I would say I'm grateful that both of these agencies are in the county, because we refer to Turning Point, we refer to Rosecrance. Yes. People come in for mental health care, but they have a substance abuse issue or they've got domestic violence issue at home, and we absolutely depend on the partner agencies too.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
As well as we do. We refer to Jean at Samaritan Counseling, and always we refer to Rosecrance for addictions. We've a lot of times it's intermixed with a lot of different issues.
Absolutely. Yes. Point well taken. And in fact, now is probably a good time to pause and say, if you think you need help or you want to see if somebody else needs help and to get advice, this is such a powerful, incredible network. We are a resource-rich community in McHenry County with our partner agencies as well as other nonprofits. And my simple advice is to just contact one of these organizations if you don't know where to start. And again, because they work so closely together, they will guide you to that right place, or maybe they will work together to serve you or a loved one's needs. So again, a really good thing to bring up, especially at this point. So let's take a minute and dig into some of the different things that you're doing right now in the community. All of you guys have a great social media presence. All of you guys have resources listed on your websites, but I want to start back with you, Melissa. So I have a long history of working in the nonprofit credit counseling industry. So I too made referrals to organizations all the time based on someone's needs in dealing with financial stress and maybe the things that were causing those stress. With Rosecrance, actually, I had a family member who benefited from the services. So for inpatient and substance abuse, as well as just the ongoing support with groups afterwards. And one of the things that you guys had listed on your Facebook page was an article. So many times you'll find articles that are relevant to the topics of service. And this article was relating to talking to teens about substance abuse and the warning signs. So some people might say, oh, this is just a rite of passage. And others might say, you know what, I need to learn how to talk about this with my child. What kind of guidance do you give to parents right now, especially with these kids that are maybe 18 to 24? They're kind of one step out of school, one step into the real world. They may not have left because school didn't start. What suggestions do you guys have if you maybe see that there are some concerns?
Yeah, I think mostly with that 18 to 24, because currently right now Rosecrance has a student assistant program, so they're called SAPs, that we have therapists in schools throughout McHenry County, as well as District 300, in which in the middle schools and high schools, we currently participate if it's in health classes. We do like parent university nights. We educate their staff. So that, definitely the children in school definitely can get that additional help and support. One of the things that we're, saying too, for those 18 to 24-year-olds, we do offer for the parents, it's called Parent Cafe, that one of our therapists runs twice a week. And they go over that stuff. They talk about, warning signs. This group has parents in there with other parents asking questions, and someone will kind of help and guide those conversations. But a lot of the time is all of our substance abuse assessments are free. So we always encourage people, come in, sit down, sit with one of our access counselors, kind of discuss any concerns or issues. And if we want to move forward, we can move forward. And if not, being able to provide those additional resources in the community.
Wow, that's great. And now, are you doing more virtually too? Or are you doing face-to-face as well?
In McHenry County, we're doing both. We're
Okay.
doing the telehealth, and then we are running some groups and, of course, individuals face-to-face, depending on the comfort level of the client, because we definitely have some clients that don't want to come in, and we definitely respect that. And then we do have, it seems like more of our mental health clients want to see the clinician face-to-face right now.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for the detail on that. So, Jean, speaking of counseling, in addition to your counseling services, I see that you also have a series on parenting right now. So if you want to tell us a little bit about that, I think it's already started, right?
Well, yes, and there are a couple of them, Heidi. One of them is we're partnering with D47 to do a 6-week parents series on the managing stress and managing the virtual space. And our clinical director, Melissa Katz, who is a child psychologist, is part of that program. And the other one is we have a number of groups that are right now starting, and you can still join, on parenting and how to manage the stress of that for kids as well, for LGBTQ middle schoolers. One for caregiving of kids and older adults, and how you do that when you're stressed out yourself with so a lot of it is managing stress and anxiety. We have one for depression, because people who are isolated are on the other end. Jane was talking about, everybody, and everybody's all together. The older kids have moved back home, or parents have moved back in with their adult children and their families, and they can't have any kind of distance, let alone social distance. And so that is a stressor, and on one side of the spectrum. On the other side of the spectrum is isolation. You have older people who are isolated, and they are not getting visits that they used to get, or they are concerned with people that they love and they can't get there. So there's depression and isolation and feeling of being alone. So we're doing groups to address just as much of that spectrum that is exacerbated by COVID. These are not new issues. They're all issues that have always been around, but they just get layered on by the pandemic and the protocols and the just bizarre kind of situation we find ourselves in today.
Bizarre indeed. So I do think too, I hope that, this period of time in our lives is really going to peel back the layers for people as far as asking for help.
Yes.
Maybe even using that word, it's more like self-serving and really just taking the opportunity to use the tools that are out there, because there are proven facts that when we use some of these things, we can get back to where we want to be with life, more quickly. And, it's great that you say so. We've got one-on-one counseling, and then you've also got the groups. Yes. So that's.
And I would also say that, and Jane and Melissa can testify to this, when one person in the family gets better, the ripple effect is profound. It isn't just one person. So if a person doesn't feel like they want to call for themselves, they can still call and do it for the benefit of the family. Because one person getting the skills to address these issues, one person finding that strength and resiliency to confront a situation that they find themselves in, one person overcoming an addiction, that really changes the dynamic for the family, for the workplace, for wherever they happen to be living and moving.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jane, if I see someone or maybe someone has told me something very intimate. You know, confidentiality in conversations and relationships is tantamount, and especially if someone's in a fragile situation. What would I do if I sensed that somebody was in a situation maybe where domestic violence was occurring?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first thing you want to do is maybe it's your personal friend. You want to ask her point blank, but you want to ask her in private when she's alone, because maybe if he's in the other room, that's not a good time to ask her. But you know, if she's got some time by herself, you can ask her, because it's not going to go away. It's only going to get worse. And then you can give her our phone number, because somebody will answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So anytime she gets a moment when he is gone, she can call and say, I don't know if this is is this domestic violence? I don't know why I'm calling. I just, my friend told me to call, and that's good enough. It's, you know, because we can actually find out from her, hey, you know, this is a place you can come to. You can, when you're driving by on your way to Walmart in Woodstock, and stop in, or a place you can call. Either way.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, maybe people would get stuck in qualifiers as far as, well, maybe that person's not hitting me, but it's an emotional abuse. You know, how do I define this? You know, what did they do? But you guys even had some really nice information about dating violence, so that this can start early, you know, and just identifying what seems right, what's not right. And that's a great thing for parents to see. It's a great thing for women to see. It's a great thing for men to see. So I appreciate you guys putting that extra information out there. So let's go around, and why don't you tell us how folks can reach out to you, Melissa? What's the best step to get in touch with Rosecrance?
Yeah, for Rosecrance, you would just call our main line, which is 815-363-6132. From there, they could ask for McHenry County and come switch over here. We have 2 access individuals there. But that is our main line, so they can call there and they will put them in the right direction.
Excellent. Okay, and Jean.
So there are a couple of ways you can call. It's 847-382-HOPE, which is 4673. Or go on the website. It's www, and it's sccnw.org, which is Samaritan Counseling Center Northwest. We are actually affiliated with sister agencies with a lot of Samaritan centers. So our website couldn't be Samaritan Counseling Center because it was taken by some counseling center that we have a sister agency with on the East Coast. So it's sccnw northwest.org, and those are the 2 best ways to get a hold of us.
Outstanding. And then Jane, that hotline number and any other information you want to give on how people can reach out to you.
Yeah, and they can call anytime. They can call now, or they can call in the middle of the night, and it's now that you tell me this, it's 1-815-338-8081.
Thank you so much. So just a couple of other tips. We also have a Facebook page, United Way of Greater McHenry County. Obviously, most of you guys are watching right now. You'll see that we often put up another United Way sponsored program, which is 211. And 211 is a non-emergency community helpline. And I think it's 60% of the calls that go to 211 are for emotional support. So volunteers are ready to able to talk with you about your current situation and give you guidance as to what resources might be best for you. And there's also, I believe it's the Mental Health Board. They sponsor the McHelp app. That's McHelp. And basically that is an app. It was originally designed for teens and young adults if they needed to speak to a counselor immediately. It's a direct connect app to talk to someone live and right away if they're in a circumstance where they need assistance. So those are 2 other great resources. And as we close out, I did want to share some great advice actually from Samaritan's website on tips on how to be kind to your mind. Okay, so the first number one tip is just to pause and breathe. That sounds so simple. Sometimes I think I find myself not breathing, and it's like, it's really important to just take a moment to do that. Even 5 minutes can provide a little more clarity. Definitely take a break from all of the COVID-19 headlines that are going on out there. You know, the daily dose are rolling out of bed and waking up first thing each morning to see what's going on. May not be a good match for some of us if we have a big day ahead of us or have new things going on like homeschooling or things like that. Another tip also was make time for sleep and exercise. So sleeping even an extra half hour, scheduling that in if possible, can bring on a new lens. And then actually reach out and stay connected to people. So there's going to be some wonderful organizations on tomorrow actually talking about services for older adults. And as Jean had mentioned, there's a lot of folks that might be experiencing isolation. We're going to have some great resources for any of you that are caring for older adults. Maybe it's parents, maybe it's an auntie, maybe it's grandparents, whatever it might be. Again, there are just so many opportunities to reach out. So, and if you were inspired by everything you heard today and all of these wonderful things that these organizations are doing, and you want to support United Way funded agencies, you can go to our website, uwmchenry.org, and find that donate button, especially if you're new to us. And reach out to me, Heidi Berardi, at hberardi, BERARDI, at uwmchenry.org, if we can provide any future assistance. And thank you guys very much for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Heidi.
Jane. Bye, Melissa.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.